Welcome back. Today I will talk about TOR and so-called hidden services. In fact, Unit 3 will focus more on hidden services and the dark web. Unit 2 is dedicated to the so-called TOR network. Before I go into the background story of TOR and how we can install it, and most importantly how we can verify it, I want to illustrate in a very simplistic fashion how the TOR network works and how it compares to your standard Internet Service Provider or VPN. So let me just draw a little figure here. It's not very sophisticated, but it illustrates more or less what the principle is. So this is your home network. So that's you. Over there is the internet, and there might be a server on the internet you want to have access to. So when you connect to your standard network, you have an internet service provider sitting in the middle. So there are various servers, and what you actually do is you make a request to the ISP, and then from there you go to your internet service you want to look at, say YouTube for instance. As we discussed before, the ISP knows what you are doing. So you have certain metadata which is collected by the ISP. The traffic from your home to the ISP to the internet is also potentially exposed to hackers. So this is something to consider. Now, we spoke about the VPN as an alternative, and very often people assume that this is the ultimate secure way of communication, but actually, as we discussed, it really isn't. So the idea of a VPN is to bypass your internet service provider. So when you connect to a VPN, you connect through the VPN service, and from there you connect to the place you want to visit on the internet. However, the VPN service provider knows what you're doing, has the same level of information compared to the ISP. In terms of protection, it offers more protection compared to a standard internet connection because the traffic between you and the VPN is protected. So that's encrypted here. So it's more difficult to be hacked in this particular setting. It's not impossible, but it's a lot more difficult. However, as we discussed before, it does not really ensure privacy, it does not really ensure anonymity, because the VPN provider collects some data, and if requested, they would also release the data. So this is something to consider. What we do today is we get rid of these two and look into the TOR network, which is a very different way of connecting to the internet. And the focus at the moment is connecting to the so-called the clear net, so not the dark net. We come to this in the next unit, but we just want to go to, say, YouTube or any other service on the normal internet. Now, the TOR network is another kind of a private network. So it's a network of many different so-called nodes, or actually servers. So there are several, you might view them as little buckets here, so different servers in a network. Yeah, so many of these, lots of them. So I just now visualize this a little bit. And the idea is that you connect to one of them to enter the network. And within the network, you bounce between several nodes, several times. And you will see this later, how that really looks like, until you reach the exit, and then from there you connect to the service you want to actually see. There are important things to note here. Number one, this traffic from you to entering the Tor network, this could be potentially hacked. Yeah, it's not encrypted, and also once you exit, there is no encryption whatsoever. However, within the Tor network, this bouncing back and forth between the different nodes, that is basically secure. It's very hard to reconcile where you're coming from. Yeah. In terms of who knows what, it's important to note that the exit node here knows what you're doing. Yeah, so this node would know it, but this node would not know where exactly the traffic is coming from. Yeah, because you go through several nodes before that, and it would not be straightforward to reconcile where the traffic is coming from. So what it actually does, the Tor network, is it gives you a disconnect between you, your home network, and what you want to do on the internet. Now this in principle is a much safer way to browse the web, and this is actually the main purpose why many people use it, irrespective of bad intentions. So that's the idea behind it. We will discover in the next lectures that this is not perfect, because not all communication goes through the Tor network. Apart from your own browsing behavior, you still of course have an operating system. You might use Windows, you might use a Mac operating system or any other operating system. And the operating system unfortunately still uses your standard ISP. Yeah, and that's a problem. So what actually happens is that you have some hidden communication running still like this through your standard network to the internet. And that is potentially a problem. And we will later try to tackle this and force all the traffic through the Tor network. But with a standard operating system, this is not possible. Yeah? So what we should note is that the Tor network is an awful lot better than a standard browser, but it's not perfect. It's important to note it's not perfect. Okay, that was the first part of this unit, and then we talk about how we start downloading Tor and how we verify the download. See you in the next unit.